Far beyond the crowded towns and noisy roads, nestled between green hills and quiet forests, there was a peaceful valley called Sunpetal Hollow. The valley looked like a painting. Small wooden houses stood beside golden fields of wheat. A winding river sparkled under the sunlight, and soft clouds floated lazily across the blue sky. At the edge of the valley lived a young boy named Ren. Ren was known throughout Sunpetal Hollow for something unusual. While most villagers kept chickens, cows, or goats, Ren cared for rare and gentle creatures from distant lands. His small farm was filled with animals many people had never seen before. Some villagers called his farm the Meadow of Wonders. Every morning, before the sun climbed above the hills, Ren woke to the quiet music of nature. He opened the wooden door of his farmhouse and stretched as cool morning air drifted across the fields. But first, Ren always visited his animals. The first to greet him was the smallest of his companions. A tiny sugar glider jumped from a tree branch and gently glided through the air, landing softly on Ren's shoulder. "Good morning, little star," Ren said with a smile. Nearby, two enormous ears popped up from behind a wooden fence. It was Luna, the playful fennec fox. Her sandy fur glowed in the sunlight as she ran happily across the grass. Not far away, a shallow glass pond shimmered beside the garden. Inside the clear water swam one of Ren's most unusual friends. A soft pink axolotl floated slowly among water plants, waving its feathery gills like delicate flowers. Ren knelt beside the pond and sprinkled fresh food into the water. "Breakfast time," he whispered. Across the yard, a tall, graceful serval cat stretched beneath a tree. Its golden coat was covered with dark spots, and its long legs moved like a dancer through the grass. The serval watched birds flying overhead before calmly approaching Ren for its morning meal. Next came the friendliest giant of the farm. A capybara named Morse slowly waddled from the riverside garden. Morse loved water and often spent hours relaxing in the cool stream that passed near Ren's fields. Ren placed fresh vegetables and sweet fruits into Morse's feeding bowl. "Don't eat too fast," he laughed gently. Near the wooden barn, something bounced playfully across the grass. A small wallaby hopped from one corner of the farm to another, curious about everything. Not far above, hidden among the tree branches, a fluffy kinkajou climbed quietly along the limbs like a tiny explorer. The forest around the farm was alive with these unusual companions. A slender genet moved silently along the fence, its spotted tail curling gracefully as it balanced on the wooden rail. A curious coatimundi sniffed the ground near the vegetable garden, searching for fruit that had fallen from the trees. Near the barn door, a gentle domesticated skunk waddled slowly, its fluffy striped tail swaying like a feather duster. Further along the grassy field, several prairie dogs popped their heads from small tunnels in the ground, chattering excitedly as Ren approached. And high in a tree beside the farmhouse sat one of Ren's most intelligent companions, a tiny marmoset monkey. The little monkey chirped happily and climbed down the trunk, landing lightly on Ren's arm. Every animal on the farm waited patiently as Ren began his daily routine. He filled bowls with clean water from the well. He carried baskets of fruit, vegetables, grains, and special food for each creature. Some animals needed fresh leaves, others needed insects, nuts, or fish. Ren knew exactly what every one of them liked. After breakfast time, Ren carefully walked through the farm again, checking each animal's health. If one looked tired or injured, he prepared gentle herbal medicine using plants grown in his garden. The village healer had taught him how to mix healing herbs, honey, and flower nectar. The animals trusted him completely. They followed him like friends rather than pets. Once the animals were fed and comfortable, Ren prepared for his trip to the village market. He loaded Maple's wooden cart with baskets of vegetables from his farm. Carrots, pumpkins, berries, and herbs filled the cart with color. The horse trotted slowly along the valley road while morning sunlight warmed the hills. When Ren reached the village, the market was already buzzing with activity. Villagers greeted him warmly. Children often gathered around his cart, asking about the strange animals on his farm. "Do the prairie dogs really dig tunnels everywhere?" Does the monkey swing through trees all day? Ren always laughed and answered their questions. After selling vegetables, Ren used the coins he earned to buy fresh food for his animals. Fish for the axolotl, special grains for the prairie dogs, fruit for the marmoset and kinkajou, vegetables for the capybara. Once his cart was filled again, Ren guided Maple back towards Sunpetal Hollow. The journey home always felt peaceful. Golden fields swayed in the wind, and birds glided across the sky. When Ren returned to the farm, the animals greeted him with excitement. The fennec fox ran beside the cart. The serval watched calmly from a tree. The prairie dogs popped up like curious little guards. Ren spent the afternoon working in his farmland, watering crops and planting new vegetables. The animals wandered nearby, resting under trees or exploring the fields. As evening arrived, the sky turned orange and purple above the valley. Ren made one last walk across the farm. Fresh water, clean shelters, healthy animals, everything was peaceful. The capybara rested beside the river. The axolotl floated quietly in its pond. The wallaby curled beside the barn, and the tiny sugar glider leapt once more from tree to tree before settling near Ren's window. Ren sat on the wooden fence and watched the sunset. He felt proud, not because his farm was large or famous, but because every creature there was safe. Under the glowing evening sky of Sunpetal Hollow, Ren was more than a farmer. He was a guardian of rare and gentle lives. And in the quiet valley, surrounded by animals from many corners of the world, Ren knew he had found his true home.